Hi, so I am Alex here with Triple Effect Social, and I have the honor of interviewing an amazing woman who has been life-changing for me, and I guarantee you she is going to inspire you too. And we're talking about creativity and how we can integrate it into our business. So welcome, Melissa McFarlane.
Hi, everybody. It's really nice to be here, Alex. I love this topic. You know that I love this topic. I've spent my whole, huge part of my life developing on this. So I really appreciate the opportunity to talk with all our creatives out there about getting their creative and their business juices flowing together.
Yes, awesome. So I wanted to ask you today about um, involving your own creativity in your business. So sort of how you were creative in your life and how you've used that. So a bit about your background and then how you've integrated that into CSE and what you're doing now.
Interesting. Well, some people know out in the world that know of us, kind of what the origin story is for creative, successful entrepreneurs. I was a creative myself, am a creative, had a long career, 20 years as an actress, and married an actor. And one of us needed to get a day job. And so I was looking for a way to continue my artistic endeavors, acting. And then I was also singing in a band and, things like that, writing a little bit, all of that. And decided I wanted to do something hugely creative, which is having kids, having children. And then again, we sort of looked at each other and it was very clear that, or I just looked at the situation and thought, somebody needs to get a job here. So I looked for a career that would allow me to, still maintain my creative career and also bring in a living and, feed the little ones, all that. So, and found somebody encouraged me to check out coaching. Long story long, I did after some resistance, like, I don't want to tell everyone what to do. That's not what it is. Jump on in. Anyway, long story long, I ended up building a coaching business. And but at first, it was not a business; it was a practice. And I did very well on the outside, but on the inside, not so well. Meaning the income wasn't brilliant, but the exposure was really good. And I finally learned how to build a business distinct from how to practice a talent, which that coaching was. And when I learned that, everything changed for me. All of the, first of all, the income quadrupled in a year, but more importantly, the impact really expanded. So, and I was really, it took me about 3 years after running the business, starting really transitioning from a practice to a business, which this series is not about exactly how I did that, but it took me about 3 years still to not be sort of resentful about having to have a business when I really wanted to be acting and I was acting, but you don't get acting work all the time or whatnot. And I loved coaching. So that was another artistic expression, frankly, a creative endeavor, so creative working with someone on their lives. And then of course, now working with people on their businesses, every business and every reason why we might be blocked around our business is a different play altogether. It's a different script altogether. So very creative and engagement there. But running the business itself, it took me a while to understand that was a creative endeavor. So it took a little while for me to get to that. Let me give you an example of, for me, what an expression of creativity was. And you've asked me a couple of other questions about this, the whole arena of integrating creativity in a business and creativity and how the two things are related. And at one point I mentioned that creativity is an expander. I mean, business is an expander for creativity, and that the places where we express in one way, they have limits. What I mentioned, how you sing, like a song can only do so much to get a message out there. If we have a business, there's a whole bunch of additional stuff we can do inside the constructs and the rules and the tools of business that can't happen in the rules and the tools of that other expression modality. So for me, for example, I had all these ways of understanding the human experience that would come out in my coaching. But it wasn't until I learned how, when I learned that people needed a methodology in order to buy the product. So they could hear from a referral that just like if someone said, oh, she sings beautifully to you, they could hear that. But if they were really going to buy it, you have to have that cover art. You have to have the, the 10-second snippet that you play on the whatever, Spotify or whatever. Like you've got to have things that are not the same as creating the song itself, or, the tool, the apparatus. And so as I started learning to leverage my gifts as a coach into a business, a coaching business, I had to develop those gifts in ways that I'd never been required to before. I had to put a name on things. I had to put an order on things. I had to decide what was really going on with people when I was working with them. And that made me learn and understand way more about what was actually going on. So the magic that was happening on the stage as an actress, when you have to turn around and teach that to somebody, or you have to explain it to somebody that's interviewing you, well, that's a whole new moment of creativity. So, and now I have a whole set of collateral. In addition to my capability as a coach with a client, I have all this collateral that are expressions of the way I think, and the way I think about that thing called you, Alex, and building your business, which is different than Mary or Sam or Shaniqua or, Jefferson or whatever. Like it's all those people, all of you guys, it's different. But when I put in front of you this product that is my methodology, the way I think, it helps you to be able to do but that's a whole creative product right there that I never would have had. And it was wonderful to have to reach in there and to use my creative gift to come up with that, an expression of what was going on intangibly. So that might be a good example, is the actual body of work that we have right now is a total creative expression. Nobody else has done it this way. And in a creative business, unlike, we're making widgets, a business that's based on a product that is actually maybe quite creative, but, is a stick, or plumbing, where you're not all that creative with the way you do your plumbing, unless you are, unlike that, most creative businesses, they are extensions of the creativity that was already there, and expanders of the creativity that was already there.
Great. So do you feel creatively satisfied? That's a question I think some people are like, well, she did the business, but is she still feeling creative? Is this fulfilling?
Well, I'm really glad you asked that, because the honest truth is that neither one of those two expressions of my creativity were whole until I had them both in my life. Like I would say I wasn't, as an actress, as a singer, as a writer, as a dancer, all of those things were wonderful to do. I loved being on stage as a dancer. I loved being on stage as an actress, on film, on set as an actress. All of that is wonderful. But the process, first of all, you don't get a chance necessarily to do it as much as you'd want to, the access to express that way. And like I said in a previous conversation, there are limits. There are limits of all of who I am, putting all of who I am. I can't put all of who I am or ideas that I have into the character that I've been given as an actress, or into this song. So there's just a limit. So I guess I would encourage any creative out there, and Alex, you're a really good example. I'll finish a sentence. I would, say to any creative out there, don't block yourself creatively. Don't hunker down in your one medium. Identify that, understand that you have a divinity in you, a creative voice that is just clamoring around in there. And it needs tools. It needs ways to express itself. A business is a way to express some of that. And an art form is another way to express some of that. And so I would say to you, no, I wasn't creatively fulfilled until I had them both. And to be really clear, there was a time when I was only able to build my business and do the other creative endeavor full-time, which was raise 2 children on my own, which was a highly creative endeavor. But I couldn't actually figure out how to also act very often, or sing, I was in a band on the side, and I was, it was all I didn't have enough time to do it all. But now, and when that was true, I yearned for some of the expression that couldn't happen in the creative business that I had. So I'm just going to say yes and no now. I've got two beautiful children. They're raised and they're out there in the world, almost out there, one of them. But you know, she's in college. Like that thing is working. It's like a song that's already picking up steam, right? They're out there, and a lot of our methodology is out there in the world. So now I'm creating a new part of the business, which I'm really excited about. And I just got back from a retreat where I'm writing. I just finished the first draft of my first real book.
Ooh.
So yeah, so now I'm feeling pretty satisfied. But you need to find a way to find out what part isn't being expressed and give it a vehicle, give it a structure, a way to do that.
Yeah, great. Well, it's really cool to hear the evolution of how you got where you are. So hopefully that is inspiring to everybody.
I
And
hope so too. Yeah.
we will be back with another episode around this same topic. So we'll see you then.